about Greece in the last few days?
Well, these headlines are incredibly misleading to say that Greece is the first quote unquote Orthodox country to legalize same sex marriage. Let's be clear the Orthodox part of the country, the Greek Orthodox Church, had nothing to do with the approval of this bill other than to oppose it.
Is this bill really about equality and human rights?
No, it has nothing to do with equality. It's about controlling the language. This bill is about deconstructing the holiness of the family and God's design. Even if it really were about equality, a tree that does not bear fruit can never be equal to one which does. And in terms of human rights, what about the human rights of the children? Don't they have rights as well? Don't they have the right to a mother and a father? These are children who will never understand the commandment to honor your mother and your father. The sexual predilections of these adults is being placed not only before God's will and design, but before the needs of the most innocent, vulnerable members of our society, those who don't have a voice of their own, the children.
But isn't this bill progressive?
No, this bill is not progressive. That turns the issue on its head. It's regressive. It takes us back to a pagan, pre-Christian era. Look at examples of the Roman Emperor Nero. He married two males, one where he was the bride and another where he was the groom. According to some sources, he even had a third marriage to another man, where he was the bride yet again. Contrast this to the suffering, the crucifixion, death, and resurrection of Christ, just years earlier. Nero, perhaps unsurprisingly, went on to torture and execute Christians and became one of the early and great persecutors of the faithful. To say that this is somehow progress is completely a lie. There's nothing new under the sun. The real progress, the evolution of man, is to live a life in Christ.
Mitsotakis says Greece is passionately committed to European values. How should we think about that?
Well, being passionately committed to European values is certainly a far cry from being passionately committed to Christian virtue. The Greek constitution stipulates that the prevailing religion in Greece is that of the Eastern Orthodox Church. The Eastern Orthodox Church of Greece, acknowledging that our Lord Jesus Christ is its head, is also inseparably united to the doctrine of the great Church of Constantinople. The two sexes, and let me be clear, there are only two sexes, are complementary. They are not a social construct by some politician, but rather they come from God. Christian marriage, therefore, cannot be reduced to a mere cohabitation agreement, but rather it is a holy sacrament, a mystery through which the grace of God is imparted to the relationship of communion between a man and a woman, with the aim of their common path to salvation and unity with God.